What is going on? We are one day away from going to some more football. Jacksonville Jaguars, Chiefs, week 2. I'm super pumped about it. Matter of fact, my brother just called me and he said, "Hey man, what are some good bets? Some good bets to go through?" And I was like, "All right, well, let's open it up." So we go through. We got Jinja in the chat. What's going on, Jinja? Can't wait to go live tomorrow, brother, outside the Jaguar Stadium. But he was sending me. He's like, "Hey, tell me what bets are good, what bets aren't." So I'm going through the list, and I'm like, "All right, no. It's a really bad week. I mean, it's just like the best game probably is Raiders Bills. I expect the Bills to bounce back. And then besides that, the 49ers are playing the Rams, but then the Rams blew out the Seahawks. So everything is kind of it's a confusing week. The Colts look good against the Jaguars, but they're going to DeMeco Ryans' home opening game as a coach in Houston. The Broncos shit the bed. The Commanders have a good defense. That game's got ugly written all over it. It's just like every game was like, I don't know. Well, we are going to do our predictions, but I wanted to say when I went through the list, at least from me looking at it, I thought that the Jags Chiefs was clearly the best game of the week. And, that's why we're going to be there. So I'm really excited. It's always fun when you can be at the best game of the week. I mean, last year, personally for me, the Broncos game was the best game, but as far as like national publicity, probably the Jets Bills, had Aaron Rodgers not gotten hurt, that might have been the best game of the week. And there were some other really good games as well. So this week, it's cool that we're going to actually be at the best game of the week. This is definitely my game of the week. So I wanted to start off by going through my predictions before we, I don't want it to be Sunday and be like, I didn't do my predictions. Okay, so bear with me because this is a tough week. Okay, so Eagles, they already played. We got that one right. All right, Packers at Falcons. Man, I don't love the way this game looks. Give me the Falcons at home. Raiders at Bills. I'm taking Buffalo to bounce back. Ravens at Bengals. Tough matchup. Joey Burrow tends to start off a little slow the last 3 years, but it's a home opening game. I expect the Bengals to bounce back. And then Seahawks at Lions. Man. I'll take the Lions. Colts at Texans. Give me the Indianapolis Colts for the win. I think the Colts win this game. The Texans will play a good game of football, but the Colts will play a better game. We can't go through the entire first 1 o'clock slot of games and pick the home team for every game. That would be ridiculous. So we do have 4 of my 5 picks so far are at home. The exception, Indianapolis beating the Texans in Houston. Then we got Chiefs at Jags. The Chiefs with a really disappointing, week 1 performance. Patrick Mahomes' first time losing the season opening game. They lost at home. They didn't have Travis Kelce. They didn't have Chris Jones, who they just signed to a massive deal. the Chiefs are going to be looking to bounce back. Definitely anything they can do to not be 0-2. The Chiefs bring a healthier and more complete roster to Jacksonville to seek revenge, right? For the Chiefs, 0-1, this is a big deal. This is a team that doesn't have a win, right? So, I mean, there teams like the Texans may be used to being 0-1, Titans, Cardinals, Broncos, Pats. The Chiefs are not a 0-1 football team ever. They have been waiting to get back onto the field and at least get themselves back to 500. Now, with all of that said, give me the Jacksonville Jaguars at home. Duval! The Jacksonville Jaguars will beat the Kansas City Chiefs at home, and it will come down to the very end of the game. This isn't going to be a blowout. I don't even know if it'll be a very high-scoring game. I think it has the potential to be a high-scoring game. It's got it written all over it, but sometimes when it looks like it's going to be an offensive game, that's actually when the defense steps up and you see these 21-24 games. I don't know what the final score is going to be. I'm going to predict 27-24 Jaguars win in a last-second field goal kicked by none other than our very own Brandon McManus, longtime Denver Bronco kicker, becomes the hero. Couldn't beat the Kansas City Chiefs in Denver, but now with the Jaguars and a new team and a better quarterback and maybe even a better team, he gets for the first time since 2016 beat the Kansas City Chiefs. This is bigger than football for Brandon McManus. And he is the X factor because I do see this game coming down to his leg. I'm really excited about this game. I think this is anytime you get two teams that are desperate. Jacksonville, they had all of the ability in the world to beat Kansas City last year. Wide open touchdowns just being dropped, fumbles on the goal line. Jacksonville was not ready to win, right? They needed to learn how to win. They didn't have a great first game. They were down 24-0. They ended up winning 27-24. So I'll give them that. But at the same time, when they played Kansas City, you can't make mistakes like that. Like, you have to be able to play a clean game, kind of like Minnesota on Thursday. Philly made a lot of mistakes, but Minnesota wasn't capitalizing on them. Kansas City is going to have to play a really clean game. They're going to do everything they can to win. Jacksonville is going to want to prove, hey, we could have beaten you last year, but bygones are bygones. It's a new year, and it's the brand new Jaguars. And could it be Jags Lions in the Super Bowl? What would we even call that? Pinch Me, I'm Dreaming, Super Bowl 58? We will see. It's very early to predict something like that, but things are looking good for the Jaguars and the Lions, and I really think week 2 is a big test for both teams. The Lions going against the Seahawks. They've played the last 2 years. Last year they played right around the first quarter mark, 25% mark. I think it was week 5. And that game was like 45-48. The year before they played again, and it was like 40-something to 40-something. It's going to be in Detroit. Jared Goff plays better at home. The lines are riding high right now. So, like, I think this is going to be a great game, and I think the Seahawks could definitely win. But I'm going to take the home team. I'm going to take Jared Goff at home. And then Bill says the Kitty Cat Bowl. The Kitty Cat Bowl. That That's actually we're gonna trademark that. This is the end of the 1 o'clock window. Oh no, we got 2 more actually. The Bears are playing the Buccaneers. Bears and the Buccaneers. Gross, right? What a gross game. And I was having a conversation with somebody last night. We went to a friend's house to have dinner, and they wanted to show me their fantasy football teams, and they were like, no, you can't show him. I want to show him. Like, they were all kind of like, you can't get, because to them they're like, oh, he knows a lot about football, let me show him my roster and set the lineup. But I was having dinner with like 7 of the teams in the league, and everybody wanted to, hey, look at this, look at this lineup. And one of the bold moves I made, you know what? Sorry, someone's get. There we go. Sorry, guys. It's freaking. Holy shit. Hang up the fucking phone. I obviously can't answer, jackass. No. Jesus. Sorry about that, guys. Okay. What was I talking about? Okay, the fantasy football. So the projections are always kind of skewed, right? Before Philly, I was like, hey guys, I would start D'Andre Swift. And he goes on to have a career game. And the projections, though, for D'Andre Swift, if you read them, was like, it was like, oh, I don't know how they're going to balance the backfield with Rashad Penny. I'm like, Rashad Penny? Rashad Penny? Are you freaking kidding me? So, I mean, you can go off the projections, but let me just challenge you out there. If you're on a fantasy football team, if you have every player starting that is projected the most points, I would challenge you to ask yourself, when's the last time it worked out that way? And what I mean is, you have to take some risks. I told him to take out Keenan Allen and put DJ Moore in. DJ Moore's projected less points. He's ranked lower, but I'm betting on the Bears to have a bounce back week. And Justin Fields is going to have a good game. And if Justin Fields has a good game, I predict DJ Moore has a good game as well. The only thing that concerns me is the Chargers don't have Eckler, which, by the way, not proud to say it, but we called Austin Eckler not being able to stay healthy through the season. Durability's been good his whole career, and that's kind of why it was time for that prediction. But anyway, if Eckler's not in the game, maybe they don't run the ball as much. Maybe they're throwing it more, but still, I'm going to be a little bold and say I'm going to take the Bears to win this game, and I'm going to pick DJ Moore to have a pretty good fantasy day. Draco Juice. Should I trade Ayuk for Jonathan Taylor? I put in the description, and I said, if you have any questions regarding trades, I need the whole roster. Out of context, like, are you deep at receiver? How are you at running back? Those are things that would need to be answered. It's hard to answer that question without seeing your team, because you're trading a wide receiver for a running back. So I need to know, like, are you low at running back, or are you weak at receiver, strong at receiver? What, I need to know that. So that'll just be, something that we hopefully will do more. If anyone has a trade, just send the roster. All right. So the rest of the games, the Chargers are at Tennessee playing the Titans. Mike Vrabel, a very great coach. 0-1 Chargers, 0-1 as well. Last week had a really tough opponent in the Miami Dolphins. That's a tough game to open with. And this week, they got to go on the road from LA all the way to Nashville, Tennessee. And I'm going to pick the Tennessee Titans to get out of there with a win. I don't know how they're going to do it. But if there's two things that need to happen. I need Mike Vrabel to have his boys ready to go. And I need the Chargers to charger. Okay? The Chargers will do that on their own. And Mike Vrabel will have his boys ready. Tennessee, as an underdog, is going to win this game. New York Giants at Arizona Cardinals. Giants, we won't even go there, okay? All we got to say is there was a burger in the Meadowlands. We call that a 40 burger. And normally, if you give up a 40 burger, you would like your team to have at least 35, maybe 30, 24 points, 17, 13, 10, 3, 0. Not a single mother flicking point. And I got to say, this is very disappointing for me, because my gut reaction to the New York Giants was that they weren't that great with Daniel Jones. You know how critical I've been of the fact that they were struggling to pay Saquon Barkley. Daniel Jones's contract, which is going to be on every single broadcast that the Giants lose in the fashion they did. Hopefully there's not too many of those type of games. But, I mean, win or lose, they're probably going to show that contract. So, Bill, I am able to be persuaded. I liked what I saw from the Giants in the preseason. I liked what I saw from Daniel Jones and Darren Waller. I liked all the stuff I was hearing about Jalen Hyatt. I like the fact that Dabble is returning his staff, the continuity that Daniel Jones would have for the first time in his career. I bought into all of it, including the Dallas Cowboys having maybe the best defense in the NFL. My exact words were, the gap between Philadelphia and Dallas is very slim to nothing. And that is what Dallas showed you. That is going to be Dallas all year long. I don't take that away from the Giants. I understand that they played a really tough team. But will the real New York Giants please stand up? I'm taking the Giants to beat the Cardinals, and this will be, and my prediction is, the Giants will win by the greatest margin of any game in this week. The Giants win this game by 28 points. Cardinals start leaving around the third quarter, and everything gets back to normal in New York. This is the way they have to win. We saw this last year. Remember when the Cowboys came to Minnesota and just beat the living crap out of the Vikings? I mean, this happens sometimes. We call it a bad day at the office, right? We have a bad day at the office in real life. Why wouldn't it happen on the field? It does happen on the field. It did happen. And then we got, Draco got his team in here. So he's got Lamar Jackson, Josh Jacobs, Tyler Algier, Tyreek, Ayuk, DJ Moore, even Evan. Oh, no, just Evan Ingram. Bench D-Hop in London, P. Ryan, Gus Edwards, and Hill. You talking about Tyreek Hill? So let's go. You're good at quarterback. Josh Jacobs, set and forget. Tyler Algier, he's going to be used in this offense. I'm going to say RB2 flex. He's I would say low floor RB2 flex. You do have Tyreek, you do have Ayuk, you have DJ Moore, and you have a good tight end. And on your bench, you have D-Hop. So you could always flex D-Hop or Drake London when he gets going. I think your biggest need right now is an RB2. I would trade Algier, or not Algier. I would trade Brandon Ayuk for for Justin or Jonathan Taylor. So this is how I would do it. I'd have Lamar, Josh Jacobs, Jonathan Taylor, Tyreek Hill, DJ Moore, Evan Ingram, and then I would flex D-Hop or London, or just wait until somebody pops and you can get off the waiver wire. It wouldn't be a bad idea to consider trading for DeAndre Swift while, he had one game, because the people that are holding him are going to want to sell high. But if you really believe he's going to put that kind of product week in and week out, it may be worth feeling out. But yeah, with the context of your team and your need, because here's the thing, you don't even have to flex D-Hop. You can have Lamar, Josh Jacobs, and then Jonathan Taylor, and you can flex Tyler Algier. Then you got Tyreek and DJ Moore starting. I would do the trade immediately. The Giants are a shit burger this weekend. Ate a shit burger this weekend. Solid squad, Draco. And then Bill responding saying, our O-line is crap and Arizona put up 6 sacks in the Commanders. I'm not optimistic, and Thomas is questionable at left tackle with an ankle injury. I mean, it all comes down to the head coach. I mean, you guys got to find a way to win if you're a playoff team. And most people have the Arizona Cardinals as the worst team in the NFL. Are they tanking? I'm not sure, but man, you got to win this game. You absolutely have to win this game. Like, I don't care if the team's banged up or not. If you don't win this game, the Giants will not go to the playoffs. That is my overreaction. Draco said, thanks. I need JT or not. Yeah. And Bill said, wow, from your lips to God's ears, 28 points. I'd love it. And then Jen just said, if you trade for JT, it could be the best or worst trade of the year. And I'm a Colts guy, so I've heard all of the local media talking about it. I don't know that I would touch him. I could be wrong. Well, I think, and I was saying this last night, you do have to be kind of aggressive to win. You got to take some chances. At the end of the day, if JT doesn't play by week 5, I would have to think he's going to get traded or play. Like, is he going to really sit out an entire year, especially with all the stuff we've heard this offseason from Le'Veon Bell about how that was a terrible decision? If he does come out and play, he'll probably be he'll be ready to go and he'll be fresh. So, yeah, you are gambling. Jinja is completely right. All right, so moving on. The 49ers at the LA Rams. The Rams, they surprised the whole entire nation, and they were able to hold Geno Smith to his worst game of all last season. Coincidentally enough, that was against the 49ers, who the Rams will be playing at 105. I like the 49ers. Brock Purdy, what's there not to love? This team should go to the Super Bowl. If you're going to be a Super Bowl team, you're going to have to win divisional games. I don't like this because Shanahan tends to take an early season loss. In a game like this, the Rams looked good. I think the 49ers win, but I don't think it's by as much as DraftKings thinks. It's a tough week. I mean, they could go out there and completely blow the Rams out. We just don't know what's going on right now very well, right? I've been keeping up with everything in the offseason, so I have an idea. I heard all offseason that Matthew Stafford was looking really good in camp and he was poised for a big year. It was just kind of like, okay, but prove it. And then he did, but it's still just one game. Okay. So it's kind of tough. It's like, I want to believe that Matthew Stafford is good enough to make the Rams competitive no matter who they play, especially at home and a home opener for that matter. So I do think there will be a divisional battle just like you'd expect. But if we were to wake up on Monday morning and the 49ers, beat the Rams 35-10, would I come on here and say, holy crap, I'm so shocked? Absolutely not. The next game is, to me, the second most exciting game of the week. The New York Jets taking on the Dallas Cowboys on the road. The over-under for this was 38.5, which means they don't predict both teams get to 20. This is supposed to be a very low-scoring defensive game. The Jets' defense, they are nasty. We saw their ability to force turnovers on Monday night. We also saw Aaron Rodgers go out with an Achilles that the Pat McAfee show had him live doing his first interview since the injury yesterday in Boulder, Colorado, where ESPN has set up a stage with people like Stephen A. Smith, Dwayne Johnson come in to drink Terramana with everybody. Aaron Rodgers, I mean, it was a legendary episode if you didn't watch it. And I was freaking pissed because we were there 2 days ago. And nobody told me that the Pat McAfee show was coming. I would have stayed. I would have stayed. I definitely would have stayed. So I'm kind of bummed that we just missed it. But at the same time, it's kind of cool. And if that makes sense, I'm going to say one of the questions that was asked to Aaron Rodgers, because Pat McAfee will talk for a while and then he'll let his guys ask a question. It wasn't AJ Hawk. It wasn't it was the Patriots fan. That's who asked. And I thought it was a great question because it's kind of a point that we've been trying to drive home on this show, at least for quite some time. And that is that when you are around somebody like Tom Brady or Peyton Manning or Aaron Rodgers, it rubs off on you. And that's why these quarterbacks happen to breed backup quarterbacks that are capable of starting. And we've gone on about this for a long time. That's why we predicted Jordan Love to be all right. But the question was, will Zach Wilson benefit from the osmosis of just being around a 4-time MVP in Aaron Rodgers? And I believe the answer is yes. And if you watched us when we streamed at halftime, I said, I think Zach Wilson leads this team to win the game. And we said it had overtime written all over it, and it did. I mean, we got a lot right, but a lot of this is just history has already told us how this may go. And Zach Wilson has matured. And yes, two things can be true. The Jets wanted to get a better quarterback than Zach Wilson, and Zach Wilson is an improvement from the last time we saw him. And both of those are true. And that's why this game is so exciting to me, is because how much of improvement is Zach Wilson from last year? Well, he's going to have probably the toughest test of the entire year going against the Dallas Cowboys. So I'm excited to see that. We got Antonio Lopez in the chat. He said, hey, man, pick 2, Breece Hall, Joshua Kelly, and Amari Cooper. And this is a good one because Joshua Kelly is going to get the volume coming in for Eckler, Amari Cooper, and Breece Hall. I think that Breece Hall's talent is too good to pass up. As far as Amari Cooper going against the Steelers on Monday night, this is just personally, I like to have a guy playing on Monday night. That way, if my team's down at all, I still have hope for the next day in a player. So if I had to pick 2, it's hard to pick Amari Cooper over somebody that's going to get a lot of touches. I would go Breece Hall, Joshua Kelly. Jen just said, if you trade for him now and he gets traded, you're a genius, but I don't think the Colts will budge. Irsay will make him sit to prove a point. And Jen just says, Amari Cooper and Hall. And then Demo 27. Should I cut Drake London? No. Too early. Last year, somebody, I think Dak got hurt week 1. And with CeeDee Lamb had like 1 catch for 4 yards. Somebody dropped him. I picked him up, and I think he finished as the number 2 fantasy wide receiver last year. So never, if you have a guy that is like very, very talented, like Drake London, you can't drop him after 1 week. He needs to prove to you week in and week out that he is not a starting caliber player, and that may take, I would say, somebody as good as Drake London, I would need about 4 weeks of nothing before I even ask that question. And then Ginger said the only question with London is whether or not Ritter can get him the ball. And that's exactly right. And that's kind of the situation I'm in with Kyle Pitts, to be completely honest, in my league. All right, so moving on, we got the Jets and the Cowboys. I'm going to pick my team. I'm going to take the Cowboys at home. Commanders at Broncos. Give me the Broncos. Dolphins at Patriots. The Dolphins. The Dolphins. The Patriots are going to play very well. 4 of the last 5 times this game has happened, Tyreek Hill hasn't been. Well, 4 of the last 5 times Bill Belichick. Oh, no. What was the stat? I think it was because they've only played twice because Tyreek Hill got traded last year. So whatever. Bill Belichick hasn't gone up against Tyreek Hill that much, and he is. That's basically what the stat is meaning. I think Bill Belichick's going to realize how hard it is to try to game plan for a guy like Tyreek Hill while Jalen Waddle's over there. I mean, this is like this team is very close to just like playing street ball, just snap the ball, roll out of the pocket. Tyreek runs as fast as he can. Then the play breaks down, and then the play actually happens. It has some of that Kansas City feel going on. So I do think the Patriots are good, but I don't think their corners are going to be able to contain the speed after the play breaks down. And I don't know if the Patriots are going to be able to I wonder what their pass rush win rate was. Win rate by team week 1. All right, let's see. NFL pass rush. Here we go. All right, so number 1, edge pass rush win rate percentage, Buffalo, Leonard Floyd. Number 2, Arden Key, Tennessee. Number 3, Durance Armstrong. Number 4, Kawhi Pay. Wow, Darrell Taylor. Number 5, Will Anderson Jr., the rookie for the Houston Texans out of Alabama. He won 4 times, which is a 30% rate based on his plays. And I'm going down the list now looking for a New England Patriot. Not seeing one on that list, but right here, defensive tackle pass rush win rate. Christian Barmore. He had 5 wins. He was the 3rd best, right under Jalen Carter, ranked at number 2. And boy, did he look good, right? He looked really good on Thursday. So you got a New England Patriot there at number 3. So game plan, stop Christian Barmore. Okay, that's the game plan. If they can hold Christian Barmore, I'm sure they'll be able to win this game. However, if Christian Barmore is living in the backfield and sacking Tua, we might actually have a close game here. As far as offensive tackle pass block win rate, Tennessee, Cleveland, Detroit, Seattle, Green Bay, Seattle. Damn, Seattle got 2 players on this list. And Cleveland all had a 100% win rate as blockers, including Kansas City's Jawan Taylor at a 97 percentile. Okay. Nobody. Wow, Garrett Bowles had a really good game. Denver with some players on here. Denver did really well against Max Crosby. A lot of people said, hey, and Ben Powers right here, 100% win rate. Lloyd Cushenberry, 100% win rate as a center. Quinn Meiernez, 100% winner. Our whole entire offensive line had a 100% win rate, besides Garrett Bowles at 97%. So, yeah, I mean that's what was kind of encouraging and discouraging, because we heard all year pretty much, like, or all week, all they got to do is stop Josh Jacobs, Devontae Adams, and hold Max Crosby. If you can do those three things, Denver will win the game. And they did all three of those things and lost the game. So it was like, oh, that was cool that they were able to succeed in their game plan. But the fact that it didn't result to a win is discouraging, to say the least. So the edge run stop win rate, Pittsburgh. Yeah, we'll just move on from this because it's getting kind of into the weeds here. But yeah, let's see if the Patriots or the Dolphins offensive line is going to be able to provide that protection. And I'm going to predict that the Dolphins win. Saints, Panthers, give me the Saints. Double header Monday Night Football game. We got Saints, Panthers, and then we got the Browns and the Steelers. I'm taking the Steelers to win. They're going to be at home. They're going to want to not start 0-2. And basic statistics will tell you, well, if Mike Tomlin wins, 60% of his games, and he lost one last week, and he's at home this week, yeah, I'll take the Steelers. And then Ginger said, I think Tua has gotten the game speed continuity with Hill and Waddle. Practice speed is different than game speed. Yeah. Yeah, this Dolphins team is going to be good this year. No doubt about it. No doubt about it. So those are my picks going. Some news. Jerry Jeudy, hamstring, expected to play versus the Commanders. It didn't seem like the Denver Broncos were really cautious with Jerry Jeudy. Ian Rappaport said, I don't think he could have gone last week, but maybe if he stretched it. But no, they held back. They said, you know what? We want this guy to be full strength. The fact that he was a full participant on Thursday is a very good sign of him being able to play on Sunday. I imagine he's going to have a huge, huge impact in stretching this offense. And I may have been 1 week late to my Denver Broncos game. This might be the game to go to. I do expect this Broncos team to bounce back and to put up points, and for Jerry Jeudy to have the most passing yards and catches of any receiver on this team. So I think his impact will be felt right away. Jeudy was Wilson's favorite target last year, tallying team high 67 catches, 972 yards, and 6 touchdowns. Bronco fans will welcome his return. Eckler is listed as doubtful, and that was interesting because I was hearing that he wasn't going to play just a little while ago. There's a chance the Bolts could be without some serious firepower without Austin Eckler, but we'll see. I'm hearing conflicting things right now. I'm just going to assume he's out, okay? So I would feel pretty comfortable telling everybody that Austin Eckler is not going to play. Any other main injuries going on around the league for week 2? Aaron Jones is questionable with a hamstring injury. So it may be A.J. Dillon that gets all the touches. Also, Christian Watson with a hamstring injury, listed as questionable. Linebacker Quay Walker is in concussion protocol. He should be able to be cleared. Troy Henderson is out for the Falcons, concussion protocol. The Las Vegas Raiders at Buffalo Bills, out. Jacoby Myers, concussion. Chandler Jones, not injury related. Baltimore Ravens have a problem on their offensive tackle, knee, out. Center, out. Cornerback Marlon Humphrey, out. Marcus Williams, pectoral, out. So the Ravens got hit with the injury bug hard and fast. Okay. That's going to help the Bengals out. Now, for the Bengals, running back Chris Evans is questionable. Joseph Asai, ankle questionable, and Marcus Bailey, knee questionable. So the Bengals are coming into this game at home in better shape. I like the Bengals. The Seahawks have Charles Cross out of the game. That's their offensive tackle. Their defensive end, Mike Morris, is out. And their safety, Jamal Adams, is out. Questionable is linebacker Devin Bush and linebacker Boy Maff. The Lions offensive tackle's out. Defensive lineman's out. Cornerback is out. For the Colts, they have Quentin Nelson, guard, is questionable with a toe. Tight end Drew Ogletree is in concussion protocol. And let's see if there's any other. The Chiefs, running back CYH, illness, and Travis Kelce, knee, questionable. Clyde Edwards-Helaire. And the Jaguars have Antonio Johnson, their safety, out, and Gregory Jr., cornerback, out. For the Bears, Josh Blackwell, hamstring, defensive back, out. Doubtful, offensive guard Nate Davis. Buccaneers are missing a cornerback, linebacker, defensive lineman. Chargers, out, Austin Eckler. Okay, so that confirms it. He is not doubtful. He is out. And this is coming from the injury report today. So this is the latest and greatest. And questionable is Joey Bosa. For the New York Giants, wide receiver Wan'Dale Robinson, knee, doubtful. Linebacker Azeez Ojulari, hamstring. Questionable left tackle Andrew Thomas with a hamstring injury. So I know Bill mentioning earlier in the chat, our O-line is crap. And Thomas is questionable at left tackle. Well, questionable still. Okay. And 49ers, Samuel Womack is out with a knee. See if any of these names. Questionable is Breece Hall. He'll play, though. Cowboys, Tyler Smith, Devon Wilson, and questionable Brandon Cooks. For the Denver Broncos, out Greg Dulcich, hamstring. Linebacker Frank Clark, hip. Both out. And Jartavis Martin for the Commanders is out, one of their corners. And then for the last two games, the Miami Dolphins and New England Patriots. The Dolphins tight end Julian Hill is questionable. Terran Armstead, questionable. Linebacker Julian Phillips, questionable. Elijah Campbell, knee, questionable. For the Patriots, Devontae Parker, questionable. And then two offensive linemen, one offensive tackle, one guard. So they are banged up on the offensive line. We'll see if the Dolphins can get after the quarterback. And then for the New Orleans Saints game, DJ Chark is questionable for the Panthers. Amari Cooper, questionable with a groin injury. Somebody asked earlier today about pick 3, and one of them was Amari Cooper. So I would not go with Amari Cooper. Mike, in the chat, what's going on, brother? Full PPR start, OBJ versus Bengals, or Rashad Shaheed versus Panthers. I like OBJ versus Bengals. I like Zay Flowers more, but I would go OBJ versus Bengals. And, Joe Burrow bounces back the way we think. This is going to be a high-scoring game. And if it is a high-scoring game, we'll see what the over-under is here. Then OBJ will be a beneficiary of that. So I like OBJ. And it's early in the season, so you don't have to worry about him getting hurt, knock on wood. And, it's another week. It's another week together. So let's see what the over-under is right now. There was some really low over-unders. I mean, like Denver was at 38 with the Commanders. I'm like, oh, that's gross. Sportsbook. Let's go. Oh, here it is. So the over under can't go in. Let me see. Over under Bengals Ravens. Here it is. Okay. This is as of 4 hours ago. So this is the latest and greatest. Right now, the over is at 46.5. Okay. That's like 10 points, almost more than the Broncos Commanders. So that's a good sign, right? Trey in the chat, what's going on? Said, evening, brother, full PPR start to Garrett Wilson, Pittman, Elijah Moore, Rashad White, Javonte Williams, or James Cook. Start 2. Okay. Right off the bat, Garrett Wilson has to start no matter what. That is my feeling. Did you see that catch that he had in the end zone? Like, Zach Wilson threw a terrible ball, and he still came down with one of the most amazing catches. I mean, he's going to make Zach Wilson look better than he is. He's too good to bench. He really is. And the same thing's kind of going on with Breece Hall right now. We're like, hey, man, is this going to be a good move? And it's like, we don't really know. We just know that he's too good to be on our bench. So it's a very similar situation. I'm taking Garrett Wilson right away. And honestly, I'd probably go James Cook as a number 2. There's the running backs last year for the Broncos were able to get a lot of those dump off passes against the Raiders. Buffalo is going to be wanting to bounce back, but not only that, think about Josh Allen threw 3-4 interceptions in that game. He's going to be more conservative this week, not wanting to make the same mistakes. James Cook may benefit from that. Mike Luce said full PPR start, OBJ versus Bengals. Okay. I saw that one already. Okay, just making sure. And you got it, Trey. And yeah, man, you guys, if you want, I'm not going to tell you to, but if you guys want to subscribe to this channel, we always will go through your teams with you. We're actually going to be at the Jaguars-Chiefs game tomorrow, going live from outside the stadium. So this could be, your home for football this year if you guys want to sign up. And we'll always make sure that you're prepared with news and NFL injury roundups and stuff like that. So Amari Cooper, groin questionable. Austin Eckler is out. Aaron Rodgers opens up on his Achilles injury on the Pat McAfee show. And he said, for as far as his rehab plan, it will shock some people. And he shut down any rumors that were going on about Rodgers going to retire, 39 years old, too old to go through the rehabilitation. Well, all of that is, I guess, not important to Aaron Rodgers. He made it clear that he will be back, and he even hinted that it's possible if the Jets are in the playoffs that he will be the quarterback for the Jets this postseason, potentially. He said he doesn't want to put that much pressure on himself, but that's where his head's at. He just doesn't want to say that out loud because he doesn't want that pressure. But anyone that watched the interview knew exactly what he was saying. So that is kind of, a good sign to see him in such good spirits so early after the game. So I'm excited about that. Well, I'm about to hit the road and head to Jacksonville. I'm in Pensacola Beach area right now, got about a 5-hour drive. And then when we get to the stadium, we'll set up the pod tomorrow morning, and that'll be a really fun football day. So it's going to be a good time. Guys, thank you. I think we got this thing back and rolling again. So we will definitely be streaming tomorrow, the Broncos game, and then Sunday Night Football. There's going to be a lot of football tomorrow. So I'm going to cut the stream here. I hope you guys kick ass in your fantasy leagues, and I can't wait to see y'all tomorrow. Go Broncos, and I will see you guys next time. Take it easy. Oh, yeah. Go Buffaloes.